Welcome to another edition, to another installment of Hashtag Fade to Black. I am your host, Don Alamonte Morris, here with my compadre, my homie, my brah, Beast Johnson. How you doing, Beast?
I've been better, but I'm gonna be better.
Hey man, just sometimes we gotta ask for, But today's show is gonna be a very interesting one because this word has been thrown around a lot, and that's racist. And majority of the time, the word racist pertain to us. And we're gonna take a deep dive into this word and what it actually means, and how do you qualify to be a racist. I feel like doing a Shaman, man, like name what race that is, but we're not naming the race,
No.
We
This is
just
what we're going tonight. We join you on America's newest game show. Who is a racist?
so if y'all want to join into the show, you can. Because this is not just a show just for us to give our views. We also want you, the audience, to also participate. And what do you think counts as being a racist? But not only just that, we're just going to destroy this whole entire subject piece by piece, limb from limb.
Yes,
But before we do that, we got the opening statements. And usually I start it off, but Beast, I'm gonna let you go on and handle that, dog. So let's go jump in.
Fun. Good evening. For my opening statement, know what you want. Know what it takes for you to achieve that. Know what you will have to deal with and put up with for that thing that you want. Just like racism and labels, a lot of folk out here got the game fucked up. And they want things that they're incapable of having or unwilling to put forth the effort to truly maintain and receive. I go back to the B. Simone video. A lot of you women want a good man, but most of you women is far from being a good woman. Now you want a man or you want something of a certain caliber, of a certain level. You want that 2021 price, but your blue value is 1992. Shouts out to Kevin Samuels. Point being, know what the hell you want. If you want a good paying job that's 6 figures, put yourself in a position. Take your ass back to school. Educate yourself. Diversify the knowledge that you have so that it's easier for you to attain that 6-figure income. It might not be in your chosen profession, but the more knowledge, the more skill, the more experience you put forth and acquire, the easier it is for you to attain what you really want. And then once you get it, you know exactly what the fuck you gonna do with it. Now, whether it's something materialistic, something monetary, relationships, whatever it is that you want in life, really sit down and think about what it is and what type of person I need to be in order to not only achieve it, but maintain it and keep it in my life. And if you're not willing to do your due diligence to get what you want, then maybe that's not something that you want. More importantly, maybe that's not something that you need right now. So always understand that. Know what you want, but know what it takes to get what you want. And then ask yourself at the end of the day, are you willing to do it? That'd be my opening statement. Let's get on with this show.
My opening statement is this. It goes out to the people in Texas. Y'all going through a lot right now. My blessings goes out to you. I know the last time I mentioned y'all on the show, I was very critical. I still don't take away from what I said, but y'all going through a lot. But here's the biggest lesson y'all should learn from this. The people that you got in power right now gotta go. They gotta go. They left y'all literally in the cold. They left y'all with broken pipes. They left y'all with damages. They left y'all with a big ass bill from the electric companies. They basically left y'all with nothing. So for anybody, I'm going to go by sector. So my first sector goes out to those who don't vote. Definitely those who live in Texas. Hear me out. I guarantee y'all gonna go to the polls and vote now, are you? This is what happens when you don't vote. This is what happens when you say the vote don't affect you. Did this storm affect you now? Are you hearing me now? Because just like that next door neighbor you had that voted in their district, same thing happened to you too. So when 2024 happens, or whenever your district is up to voting superintendents, I guarantee you will get off your happy ass and stand in line and vote now, are you? Now go to the other people that voted for these suckers in these positions. This is what y'all voted for. The ones y'all vote values, and I'm a Christian and he see my Christian values. I believe I'm anti-abortion. You know, I'm all about pro-life. Did they care about your life? Did they care that you were struggling? Did they care that your freaking ceilings were caving in on you? Your pipes was busted? Your freaking house was below sub-zero temperatures, no heat? That your freaking cars are damaged by all the frozen ice? So are you going to be voting like that from now on, or are you going to be voting for what is right? And for those who vote against these current administrations in Texas, now it's time for you to push hard, harder than ever, to get these suckers out. Not trying to convince the people that voted them in. They probably already decided. You let them figure out what they want to do. Get the people riled up and ready. I know it's in 2 years. I know, but it's better to start now. The Tea Party, they started early. They got the people together and round them up, and look what happened. Majority of the people that was in the Tea Party got these elected officials in Congress are still in. Think about that. Because they started early. Get everybody together. Round them up. Get the freaking representatives of politicians that you believe will change it. The ones that says, look, y'all vote me in, something like this is going to happen again. And you don't want to keep proving them right. Get the right people in. Push the people to go out there and vote even more. Go to the people that did not vote, the people who I talked to at first. Get them to freaking vote and tell them it's going to affect you as much as it's going to affect me. If you vote or not, it's even worse when you don't vote, because guess what? You can't say anything. You know that old saying goes, you are what you eat. And I'm guaranteeing to each and every one of y'all are sick and tired of being the ones getting left out in the cold, no pun intended. So Texas, y'all got a lot to think about here. No more forgiveness. No more this guy, he sees my views or she sees my values and all that stuff. This right here should have been your determination on how you're going to vote and how you're going to change Texas. And that if something like this happened again, that y'all have better leadership that can fix it and make sure a disaster like this will never happen again. And I'm mostly leaning on those who don't vote, because it affects you too just as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the show. I know B's ready. I'm ready. It's going to be a 2-man show, but let's get into it. Now, Beast, you know what we gotta
Yes.
do, man. You know your boy got that what's it called? Sky Zone Society. And you know the best introduction man should do it. So please introduce the first half sponsor of the show.
This first half of Fade to Black is brought to you by our wonderful sponsors at Sky Zone Society. The Sultans of Swag, your Deans of Drip, your Sovereignty Services of that swag. Only at Sky Zone Society can you find fashionable apparel, stunning visuals, awesome videography, as well as wonderful fragrance to liven up your home. Where else can you get that at? Now now to do that, you got to go to Yankee Candle, then go over to your favorite clothing store, then go holler at your mans that do videos, then go holler at your cousin. Just go holler at Sky Zone. That's all you got to do. One-stop shop. You want to help out the hood? You want to support Black business? Sky Zone Society. Don't run around the hood looking for it halfway. Do it right the first time. Just go to Sky Zone Society. Tell them B sent you.
Thank you for that, Beast. As you got Sky Zone Society in the back and also strolling at the bottom. Check out their products, check out their services. Sky Zone Society.
Got some new fragrances coming out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't know no names right now. I'm just throwing it out there. My man's got some definitely expanding the candles. So y'all definitely might want to check them out right now before he get too heavy on y'all. Then gotta hit you with that white man price.
Speaking of the white man's price, let's get started with who wants to be a racist. Now, this is something that just been on my chest for a while now, because I feel definitely with our people, racist has been thrown around as much as the N word to the point where it starts to be a part of people's everyday vocabulary. And what I mean is, it's just as simple as saying son, kid, water, car, whatever, or even saying
it's become
your
a vague, very vague, interpretive, too much loopholes. Well, I'm not racist, but you're racist. For all you people out there that make the comment about Black people being racist, from a corporate standpoint, Black people cannot be racist because racism is defined as being in a position of power to allow your prejudicial thoughts to manifest into physical actions. That is racism. And it's hard. So if you are not in a position to where you could actually affect someone's life because you don't like the way they look, you're not a racist. If you just don't like them because of the way they look, you're just prejudiced. And that's everybody.
I'm happy that you opened it up with that, because people just hate hearing that definition. That is the correct term and the correct definition of a racist. Now, here's the lamest term, ladies and gentlemen. If, let's say, I take out my frustrations, I'm not talking about fisticuffs, I'm talking about give out my frustrations to just a random white dude. And I say, look, you so privileged, you white man, all that stuff, blah, 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 all that stuff. That does not make me a racist, ladies and gentlemen. The word
you're having a racist moment, but you're not racist.
But here's the proper context and the proper word for that. That is prejudice. I don't even hear prejudice anymore. So let me go ahead and...
Because everyone applies. If you notice, any word, any phrasing that applies to everyone is either removed from the verbal lexicon or is transferred. In the case of nigger, another grammatical definition, a nigger, N-I-G-G-E-R. The first primary definition of a nigger is someone who is ignorant. Now, what does ignorant mean? Ignorant means that you are lacking of knowledge. So a nigger is someone, in respect to you, who knows less than you do. but in respect to them, you're a nigger too. So when it comes to me and Donnell, for example, I'm a military nigger because I'm ignorant of that. I don't know. I don't know the level of. I don't even know a tenth of what Donnell knows. So in respect to Donnell, oh yes, I'm a nigger. I'm very ignorant to that, and I acknowledge that. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't define who I am. It's just the fact. Now on the flip end, music, he's a nigga. See what I'm saying? Everybody's a nigga to somebody. Everybody is prejudiced to somebody. But because everyone doesn't want to acknowledge their own fault or their own truth into things, then it's like, okay, I'm going to take the word away, or I'm going to try to put that word onto someone else. And that's what we see here nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody, what's boy? Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney would come in. Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga when it's time to be a nigga.
See, and that's why I'm going to jump in too. So when we talk about, we're going off what you just said, people forget the word prejudice. People don't understand what prejudice is. They think it's just racist. No, that's just me being prejudiced. I'm sorry, my girlfriend's messaging me right now. My phone just fell. But yeah, I'm multitasking right now. So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
But baby, ain't no girl over here.
Yeah.
No, that's the feedback. I'm on the podcast right now.
Right.
She just said, go to Facebook. Just go to Facebook.
She actually just messaged me. She said, "Have a great show." So I don't hear anything with prejudice. So let me go ahead and talk to my white counterparts right now. Let me talk to you, and then also my oblivious black folks too. That for some reason you hang around a lot of white folks and you just don't want their feelings to be hurt when they hear truth.
In other words, we talking to you white people, we talking to you Uncle Ruckuses, and we talking to you oblivious Toms out there. I won't call them coons. Oblivious Toms. You don't realize you're a Tom, and you don't realize that you are a coon. You're oblivious to it.
So I'm talking to y'all. So when you hear somebody like myself, I'm gonna use the example that I used earlier. If I come at a white dude and I'm sitting there saying you white privilege, call them the peck of wood and all that stuff, that is not me being racist. Racist tendencies. When you said that, when you were saying like it's race, you have
racial undertones,
racial moments, and I call it racist tendencies, but it does not make me racist. So I also want to, it's not only just for black folks, but also I'm talking to my Asians. I'm talking to my Indians. I want to use the M word, minority. I don't want to say all the.
I'll talk to my Indians and my Hindu and my Hindi
right.
and my Sikh and my Sikh, all of y'all.
Right. I'm talking about us who is not part of the dominant society, which is white. Now, white folks, don't get all uptight. This is a learning curve for you as well, including the ones that just think what I just said was racist. Sit back and learn something. When you have, and it's not only just could be me, it could be somebody that's Muslim. Like here in America, Christianity go hard at Muslims. They think Muslims are the closest thing to the devil, and they demonize them. But does that make them a racist? No, it does not. They're just prejudiced. So when you probably say, Morris, you're not making any sense right now. I'll make it perfect sense. Let me tell you why. Because a racist race, let's start right there. Race, rather than the color of your skin. What is a race? A race is where people compete to win. I'm just using layman terms. Fact of it is to win. What do opponents always trying to do to win? They always trying to find an edge. They also, first they got to prep. Right. First you got prep, but then you got to try to find the edge on your opponents. Like in boxing, Floyd Mayweather is the only boxer I know that says, I don't look at the other guy's film. I just go out there, just do me. But that's him. But then in the history of boxing, I'm talking like the Muhammad Ali's. I'm talking about the George Foremans. I'm talking about
the actual fighters, the actual boxers.
Right.
No, the real boxers.
Yeah, I'm talking about my boy Jack Johnson, Rocky Marcianos. You know that they were studying their opponent inside out. Now, back in the day, they didn't have like video footage. Well, in Muhammad Ali, George Foreman days, they did have video of seeing how their opponent fights, what's their weaknesses, what's their strong points, how the do like a counter to their punches.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rocky Marcianos, like back in the day, or Joe Louis days and Jack Johnson days, they would either be at the fight themselves or they have a scout out there just writing down notes like, hey, you got to watch out for that left hook. Watch out. What I'm saying is everybody is trying to find a way to cut a corner, good or bad, legal or illegal, to get one up on their competitors. Now, let's look at the world. Black people are down to the bottom. They are almost literally like touching the bottom because the dominant society have made the competition. I won't even say made the competition worse for us. I won't say that. They got a freaking basically a 10-minute, not a 5 seconds, not a 10 seconds, a 10-minute head start. 10 minutes. So how in the world can you make up for 10 minutes when it's a freaking 2 miles? The race is already halfway over.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's a hurdle. And that's what you call racism. Because you manip the race for you to get a 10-minute head start. And by the dominant society, by that competitor taking that 10 minutes from everybody else, taking that 10 minutes head start from everybody else, that is a practice of racism. And a lot of these white kids don't even realize when you hear white privilege, a lot of them get upset, they get mad, they get in their feelings. And some of them, and bless their hearts, some of them don't even realize it. They say, I'm cool with black folks. Yeah,
most of y'all dumb as hell.
Yeah, and some of you are oblivious, and some of y'all even know that y'all using white privilege, and y'all just pretend that you don't know what it is and know that you're actually using it. But let me talk to the people, let me talk to the white folks once again that don't realize that you're using white privilege. And I understand a lot of y'all gonna sit there and say, I got black friends, I listen to rap music. I'm cool with them. I'm great with them. I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's all great and dandy. But here is the question that I ask you, sir, or ma'am. When it comes down to when you see one of your homeboys and homegirls dealing with this racism, are you going to step in and use your white privilege? And that's another thing too. You don't realize by you saying that, you're proving my point of your privilege.
Because only racists make statements like that.
Right. You only are perpetuating that you are privileged. It's because if anybody says, well, I work for this, I went through the struggles of not, having a father or broken household, right there just shows their privilege. Because
what's that got to do with being black?
Right. Because you still got freaking kids. You know the people that you cheer for in college and football, they came from broken houses. And they're the only ones. Yeah.
Even better yet, better statement. So we talking to white folk, and the white folk that make that retarded ass statement. Go back and look at all your favorite white celebrities, all your notable white names. 87% of them grew up from a broken home with no father, the typical racist stigmas that you put on black people. They came from that. Yet you don't use that as an excuse for them.
No.
You celebrate it. Let's look. You want to talk about racism? This is the biggest racist thing that pisses me off about white folk in general. And black folk, I want y'all to pay attention because most of y'all didn't even realize this. But
yes,
the so-called Young and the Restless. Every black person knows Young and the Restless. All I got to do is say Victor, and that nigga face pop in your head. Now, for anybody that has been forced to actually watch a few episodes of Young and the Restless, or Bold and the Beautiful, or General Hospital, or One Life to Live, you will notice a random trend. Most of the stories is stuff that you grew up around. He's sleeping with her while she's sleeping with him.
Mm-hmm.
He don't realize that she might be his half sister because the second dude's daddy used to fuck with the first dude's mama. Done, all of them might be related. That sounds like some hood shit. Everybody cheating on each other, folk getting in trouble, folk lying on each other, money issues, police, people disappearing. That sounds like shit you hear in the hood all day.
But it's happening in rich middle class folks.
Oh, but when you see it on TV, it's not drama. It's not hood life. It's drama. This is the type of things that people go through in life. Yes, this is true. So why the fuck would you keep trying to put it on black folk? As black folk are the only people that come from less than stellar homes. And here's a fun fact for you racist fucks. I know more white people that never knew their daddy than black people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Including myself. I only know a handful of brothers that really, truthfully, honestly, don't know who their fathers are or never really knew. Most cats I grew up with, all the black folk I grew up around, we know who our daddies are. We know who our family is.
Hey, Beast, we got a good friend of ours who finally came back. I want you to see.
Big Dan! What's good with you, pimpin'?
He's back. I know he's gonna. I really want Dan to really chime in.
I'll be thinking. Look, that's one reason I'll be sitting here smoking cigarettes. Every time I be thinking about Dan too. Like,
yeah,
we need Dan on here with a good time.
So Dan's gonna be our. He's gonna be our white counterpart. And Dan, even if you do disagree with us, Dan, I want you to intervene. Like I said, this is something that people need to understand when it comes to races. So, but to go on
for the record, people, Dan is the cool white guy that all black people know. Don't matter where he came from. He could be suburb or goddamn trailer park. At the end of the day, you know, this particular white individual, not only is he gonna keep it real, you look at him like you was possibly a nigga in a former life.
That is true.
You just too real. You just too real. Like Big Dan reminds me of a cat I went to school with. When you look at him, he looks like your typical trailer park white guy. Look like he got a construction job, got about 2 white baby mamas, possibly done beat on one of them. That's how he look. Got a light-skinned baby mama, a chocolate wife. He stay in the middle of the fucking hood. I mean, in the middle. Right there.
Yes.
And you cannot tell this. This man is the only white man I know can get away with saying nigga. Because you look at him like, oh yeah, he ain't racist. You ain't got to see his wife. You ain't got to see his kids. You can just look at this man and you can tell he's not racist.
Or if he's around a group of people that's not comfortable around him, use the N-word, you gotta pull him to the side like, look. I can tell him not to say it, but he ain't like that. Trust me, he's not like that. You have to explain it down.
Oh, no. That's the beautiful thing. Those like Big Dan and the dude I'm talking about, they got common sense. Like they've probably been told at some point by us, hey man, you can say it. But they smart enough to know, yeah, I know I can say it, but until I get a pass from every black person in America or get an official black card, nah.
But other than that, let's go.
I just say it in the car when we listen to 50. That's about it.
One thing I can say is this: hopefully, Dan will stay in. He be the white counterpart on this. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a commercial break. Everybody back to their corners. And I forgot to play this during the start of the show, but we'll be right back. And just like that, we are back once again. Welcome to the hashtag Faith the Black Show. I'm your host, Donald Monty Morris, here with my dog, Beast Johnson. All right,
And I'm
so
here with my dog Coda.
literally, he's not lying. He literally his dog's with him.
Now, he's literally like right here next to me. Anytime you see my arm randomly move, that's because of the dog.
So let's talk more about the racist part. So we was really hitting on some we were making some headwind on the racism aspect of it. So racist, for somebody to be a racist, they have to practice racism. It's like the preacher. You can't call him a preacher unless he's teaching the word, no matter if it's Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whatever.
If he preaching the word, he preaching the word Monday through Sunday, not just on Sunday.
Right. And then you can't call a mechanic unless he's fixing cars, trucks, SUVs. No different with a racist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a country bumpkin. Beast is a country bumpkin. We're going to lay it down to you on simplest terms. We mainly talking to the white folks who just love throwing that word around. And then
Proud Boys. That's what we talking to.
And then also the black folks that chill and hang around them that basically uses black folks as a pass to say that. So, for me, now this is my view. This is me. When you are a racist, once again, you have to practice. Racism is all around us, if y'all don't believe it or not. It's all around us. I'm not going to mention white supremacy because we already know it's white supremacy. Why is it white supremacy? Because it's racism that's all around us. When it's hard to find a black business anywhere, you have to really have to look it up. Like, it's funny. Ever since, Black Lives Matter came about, you had a lot of organizations, definitely like Netflix, that started to showcase black films. And it's funny, I was sitting there, I was in Colorado, I was on a TDY, temporary duty station, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting there and I'm sitting down with two battle buddies of mine. They both white. One of the white dudes actually a Muslim. And he was just talking about, he said, man, I love Netflix, but I'm thinking about, canceling it. And dude was like, why? He said, because, I'm not trying to sound racist, but I see too many of these, they're spotlighting so many of these black movies. Because Netflix at one time, I think they still got it, where they just have like a category of black movies where it said Black Lives Matter section or black movies. And they highlight at the top.
It's still there. It goes.
It's still there. Still got it. Yeah.
It's either Black Lives Matter, BLM, or Black Stories, which I find all offensive. I do find offensive as a black man.
So, so he was saying the things of, he said, I'm not racist, but I'm just kind of over it. I get it. Black people have been oppressed for a long periods of time, but please don't put it on my Netflix. Now I really want to say something, but I'm more of the guy. I always got to be a podcaster / a host in situations like that, unless they ask me how I feel about it. I just sit back and I just listen. I go by an old saying that a major who was a brother, light-skinned brother, pimp. I mean, uniform, crisp. I mean, in the dirty Iraq, crisp, clean, everything. He told me, he said, Morris, with a toothpick in his mouth, he said, Morris, quiet man hears everything. Don't say nothing. Just sit there and let him talk. You hear all the things you need to know when you just. And I just sat there, I just listened to him. I knew, and see, the thing is, I knew he was coming from a genuine place. I knew he was coming from a genuine place because, not to mention, I worked with him. I think we gotten close, you know. Also with the person he was talking to, I'm not gonna mention their names, obviously, you know. But see, I don't look at it as face value because when anybody say anything, I see where you are coming from. Because you got some people who always say take your emotions out of it, but they got their emotions into it. I knew he wasn't emotional about it. This is something that he genuinely feels like, you know, I understand the plight of black folks, but I don't understand why is it on Netflix and they got to highlight every black movie. So I put myself in his shoes. And I always say on the show, before Mayo, yes, Mayo, I hope you watch it right now. I was one that said going on the other side of the tracks and understand what they said. Mayo didn't start that. I did. And Kyle okay. Yeah, you're right about that, Key. It is a acquired taste. I mean, something you gotta get used to. But
I trade with you. You in Colorado? I trade with you. Come to North Carolina. I'll take over the spot.
So I mean, he was over there. He was, you know, just hearing them talk. I mean, he didn't sound offended. But the issue is with us black folks, sometimes we do get too emotional. We get too invested in having somebody disagree with us. And then sometimes it happens on the show too as well.
I won't even say it's that necessarily. It goes back to the verbiage. You 9 to 10 says anytime someone makes, I'm not trying to be racist, but
yeah.
It's that one, it's always an exception, that 1% that is genuinely sincere and they know they're not trying to be racist and they're stating that like as a spoiler, like, look, I know this may be perceived as racist, but it's
not. And which goes
back
to
say verbalize, I'm not trying to be racist. As black people, we hear, okay, this is about to be some racist shit.
Right. And see, this is what goes to the prejudice part. See, we throw around races like it ain't no thing and use it in an improper context and use it in improper senses and labeling people that. And I'm gonna give the devil this due. Even amongst white people, when people call them racist, like I could easily call him a racist and say something like, dude, like, you know, what are you trying to say? I mean, obviously, all these black movies that you see up in there, you wouldn't pay no mind to or even know that they were black movies. You know what I mean? So it's just like I could have said something like that, but I ain't felt no type of way because I knew where he was coming from was very, you know, genuine. He just didn't know how and what they say. So now I'm gonna start smacking the hands of also the black folks that just go too hard with it. Because sometimes white folks just don't know what to say. And I'm not trying to cape for them, but I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. When you know somebody, when you know a white person is not even about that life, you know he's cool with you or she's cool with you, and they try to bring up something that he or she knows is going to have some racist tendencies with it, and know you probably might get a little backlash with it, you got to give them a chance for them the opportunity to say it. Give them an opportunity to say it, or at least for the white folk, or at least ask them like, hey, what I'm about to say, I don't mean it in any way to offend you. If there's any way that I can water it down so it's not, I could get to the point, then help me. There's nothing wrong with
to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with
honest.
that.
If you feel like it's racist, actually, I've had white people that I used to work at with UPS. That was a game we used to play. Like we made a game out of it. It was fun for us. So if we would hear comments or say stuff to each other that might be a little questionable, I would go talk to, hey, Steve, just don't name, hey, Steve, is this considered racist? And I would just say it. He's like, if you were white, yeah, it'd be racist. Like if I said that, yeah, I'd be racist as hell for saying that. But like, no, you're not racist. Okay, well, what about this? Okay, yeah, you're being racist on that one, Alex.
Right. So I mean, see, y'all made it into a game, which is great. But then if you have a friend, a white friend, including the, including the black friend, including all the other other ethnicities. When you try to explain something when you're not trying to be offensive, that's where that talk comes in. Like, hey man, we've been cool for how long? And that's when you know it's about to get serious. Like, okay, dude, what are you about to say? I don't want to come off as being an asshole or coming off as being prejudiced. Don't use racist, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. Do not use racist in that context, because it's basically prejudice, because your friend's not practicing racism. He's not practicing in it, or he or she is not practicing in it. I mean, even though they are fixture into this thing called racism and they privilege off it, let's keep it 100. They privilege off it, but some of them just don't know no better. And some of them even know that they privilege off it, like, damn, man, you know, why am I privileged off it when my boy right here should be getting the same opportunities as myself? So I'm throwing that out there before anybody get their panties all up in the bunch. You know, hopefully some of y'all do get your panties in the bunch, because some of y'all probably need it. But for the rest of y'all get what I'm saying. It's not me just coming at y'all. You know, I'm just keeping it 100, just like Beast on the show, like we always do. But in those type of terms where you're trying to say something that you know is going to strike a nerve, definitely when it's racial, does not make them a racist. This goes for the both sides. When somebody's trying to say something that has racial tendencies to go with it, or racist tendencies to go with it, that's prejudice. And then for the person that's hearing this, that's them being prejudiced. But if they come at you and give you fair warning, when they give you the warning, depending on how long you know this person, like it Beast, for example, with his boys, like they could go back when they was both pooping together back in kindergarten. Who knows? Well, people can't say that, like, yo, dude, and you know that they're not coming from that way. They're just keeping it 100 with you. But for people that you just know for like 3 or 4 or 5 years, and they give you that fair warning, give them a chance to explain. Give them that chance. Or at least help them to be like, hey, man, don't come at me like that. Come at me like this.
Mm-hmm.
And
now, when you talk about the people that when you talk on that other end, help them explain. For you white people that, like for white folk that actually do get away with saying nigga around certain black people, I've been in a situation like that myself. I knew he wasn't being racist. He honestly wasn't a racist individual.
Mm-hmm.
We knew it. And it was like, all right, well, cool. But it came time to him to want to socialize with me. And I explained to him, you can come over the house. That's cool. But understand this. Only me and my homeboy, who we happen to work together, we cool with you, saying that we understand you're not racist. Now, our peoples, they don't know you.
Right.
So I would ask you, don't say it.
Yeah.
Because if you piss one of them off and they go to fight you, I'm not jumping in it. Because I've known them longer than you. Situation got there, he got drunk, got a little, got comfortable. Had to remind him a couple times. My homeboy jumped up and was like, hey, I'm not Alex. I'll fuck you up. I had to remind him, hey, if he jump on you, we taking your beer, we taking your weed, whatever money you got on you, we taking it, and we gonna kick you out. And then you're gonna have to deal with the niggas on the street. So this is your last warning. Don't say it. So we won't view you as a racist. He said it again. Now you're a racist, sir. You've embarrassed me because I vouched for you. I tried to explain as a black person, as a human being, what's going on. Now, if you choose not to listen when we try to warn you, just because it's cool with me, Donnell might do some other shit.
Right.
I don't know what he's capable of.
Because I'm telling you, you have that one person that's probably looking at you like, yo, what's up with your mans? Because I can tell Beach, if I ever bring a friend of a different ethnicity, mainly white, to a shindig, or I'm gonna say cookout. Let's say I invited him to the cookout. Everybody knew he was coming. and he started to get a little bit of drink up in him, and some things started to come on out. And I'm not just only saying just the N word, like jigaboo, ghetto, dang, she bougie. Well, some girls can be bougie. I kind of let that go, but you like other derogatory
words. Bougie, that's just a general term.
Yeah. So if he used borderline like very prejudiced racist words, yeah, I'm gonna give him that warning. Like, yo, dog, look, Beast over there, he been fuming. You know, you got that one person just sitting there looking like you know that, you know, if I'm gonna pop off, I'm gonna pop off. And more, you know, you're my dog, I respect you, but if
because I love you and you working here, telling you up front, get your mans.
Right. Because if you get in the way of them, I'm sorry, I'm gonna deck you, and I have to respect that. I have to respect that, but then at the same time, I have to tell you, Beast, like, yo, Beast, let me talk to him. That's my company. I'm sorry that he's disrespecting you and everybody here at the cookout. Let me go ahead and handle that. And so they got to heed that warning. But then you got some people. Sometimes the alcohol do be setting them straight.
It brings the truth. You only say what you want to when you got alcohol in your system, because you can use it as an excuse.
Because oh my goodness, I can't believe I tell a story. I had plenty of times where I had white friends and they got drunk. You know, I'm the military, and they would be truthful and honest for me. They'd be like, man, I can't believe my asses were so fucked up to your people, man. I wish I was there back in the day. I would have fucked them up for you, man. I mean, in tears. Like, man, I fuck their asses up. Like, how the hell?
What? I love them type of white people. Like, if you type of white people live out here, don't get drunk to say that. Just say it.
Yeah, he was like, man, I can't even believe that, man. You know, I rock with your baby. He said, if it was a civil war, if it was a race war right now, I'll be on your side. I'm like, damn, homie, like, damn, like, really? He was like, yeah, man. Man, you know how much I like black girls.
No, I like when the white dudes be like, hey, man. Hey, I just want you to know, I can't fucking stand crackers neither. They get on my fucking nerves too. I can't. Or they look over that white girl, but like, that white bitch needs to shut her damn mouth up. Shannon.
And the and peace. And the funny thing is, it'd be the most country of country boys. That's the crazy thing. They'd be like, man.
The crazy thing is, the country boys, because you only know this by living in the South. So like me here can attest. The vast majority of the white people that we know in the South, they ain't even racist. Hell, they barely prejudiced. They just as poor as we are, so they ain't even got the inclination to want to be prejudiced, because they still trying to pay their bills like we are.
Yeah.
Hell, one of them is in front of us getting the money order. The other one's behind us getting the money order. Either way, we all here to pay rent.
And the funny thing is, they're close proximity to the hood. And that's the craziest thing. It's like one part the hood, then the next part you're in the rural country area. You're in the trailer part. And so, I mean, what we're saying is, once again, when the word racists get thrown out, it's all in the practice. So let me go ahead and get on the white folks real quick. We understand that y'all going through everything, just about the same thing that we're going through. We understand that. We're not saying that y'all don't have your struggles neither. But y'all also have to understand there's two different struggles. See, y'all can work y'all way out your struggles. Y'all can work y'all way out of it. For black folks, every day is a struggle. It's a struggle every single day. When you got black folks that's trying to apply for jobs and their name disqualifies them. Beast talked about this on previous shows where he talked as eloquent. For anybody who's been watching this show for the longest time, he talked very eloquent, intelligent, knowledgeable. Now that, he did his interview over the phone and he got the job, now is, let me introduce you to the staff. They're like, Mr. Johnson? Yes, Alex.
You're Alexander? Yes, I am. How you doing? And they hear the voice
It was
like, that is the voice I talk to. Oh, we were expecting like a 6'1", 6'2", Auburn, dirty blonde haired white guy. We didn't expect this right here. You look like one of Bob Marley's children. Is your Peter Tasha's son? That's how you look right there. That's the look they give me.
Yeah, and that's the issue. Y'all struggling just like us, but y'all on a different type of struggle where y'all can put in an application and actually what Dr. King said, people, just somebody up their character, not up their skin. I'm paraphrasing. Y'all got that. We get judged on our race.
We get judged on everything. Like when you talk about the names, white people can name their children Apple, Frogger Jack. I can't even. DeBrickashaw was the most ghettoest name I've ever heard next to LaDasha, L-A. That's like the two ghettoest names I've heard next to Tarjay and Lemon Jello and Orange Jello. But I feel like that's an urban myth right there. But to name your son Hopper Jack, you got these white kids got way worse names than we do now. Oh, remember we grew up having 5 different girls named Tamika, 5 different girls named me, like just 2 Porsches. I know 2 dozen Ashleys. No, just Mika. There's Ta, La, Ba, Sha, Na.
Zachariah.
Point being, we get disqualified for these names.
Yeah,
always. But DeBrickashaw with a 4.2 GPA will not get the job, but Hopper Jack with a 2.1 will still get the interview.
Yeah, and that right there is
privilege. That's y'all privilege. That's the issue. That's one of the issues that we address all the time. No, don't pick on us because, like Donnell says, the game y'all got a 10-minute head start, a 2-mile lead. Y'all had enough time to lap us and then set up more obstacles for us, and then get ahead long enough for you to stop, smoke a cigarette,
have a
sit
break
in a damn chair, and look at us. Try to get a quarter way through with the new additions that you added in because you had such a fucking lead.
Right. And once again, like I said, some of y'all are oblivious to it. I'm not meaning that in a very derogatory way. I'm not meaning that at all. Some of y'all don't even realize it. Some of y'all don't actually sit down like, man, why am I able to get a better job than my dog? Why in the world am I able to get a better tuition? I don't have to be an athlete to get a scholarship. And this girl scored just as high, maybe even a point higher than me. And I got a scholarship, full ride. Why in the world? I mean, when it's happening, and we all at fault at it, when something's good going on, we could care less who was around us, aiming for the goal, even if we are good friends. But then when you finally get to sit down and enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you bump into one of those individuals, you sit there like, it make you wonder like, yo, man, what's up? Did you get that scholarship? Because you think, because you got it, they're going to get it too. And you come to find out, no, we had to go in as an undergrad. We literally had to basically scrape up some money to pay for the tuition, to get the books, the board, and all that stuff. And now
we get told, Donnell, we get told, because I love the fact that you're talking about racism during Black History Month, and I love this new generation because this is the first Black History Month where we as a people are actually learning things. They're bringing out information that we never really knew growing up. They chose not to teach us in school. We were seeing the truth about our heroes and the true ends that a lot of them met. And we're seeing what we really had to go through. I saw a form. It was it's supposed to be an acceptance letter, but it was short, and it said, We are unauthorized to consider you for admission. No, no, say we are unauthorized to consider admission for anyone under the Negro race. This was like 60, this was during the civil rights. So we'll get a good 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And said, I'm sorry, I wish I could do more. Here's a refund on your application fee. That's what the letter said. It told this black person they could not get into school because the school was not authorized. The school was not authorized to allow anyone being defined under the Negro race to apply. That was 60 years ago. Back when y'all thought America was great. Back when the nation wasn't as divided as it is today. All you dumbasses out there saying that shit, I really wish you wouldn't, because it disrespects my intelligence, my integrity, and it disrespects your intelligence.
Mm-hmm. And that's why
you're
got
smarter
HBCUs.
than that.
Yeah, that's why you got HBCUs. Was the offshoot of going to that Ivy League college or that regular college that you have, that community college in town. That's why HBCUs are in abundance now. And I'm happy that they
now
finally.
Y'all don't even want.
Yeah, and now you guys.
Yeah, y'all black folk don't want to go to HBCUs. So now all the benefits y'all would have got at the HBCU, they have to give it to the white folk for affirmative action.
Mm-hmm. Because now it's like a handful of white folks that go there, which are considered an outcast, are getting the scholarships, are getting the great jobs.
They're minorities. So once again, the affirmative action, it goes across the board. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they have to at least entertain my admission to Stanford or Yale or any of the white upper Ivy League schools. But on the flip end, Howard, Grambling, A&T, all the predominant HBCUs, they have to let in the white kids. And the white kids are now labeled as the minorities. So all the scholarships and funding that are allowed to minorities when they go into school, they now get it. So that's why you see a lot of white folk going to HBCUs. Most of them ain't going for their love and appreciation and affinity for Black culture. They're going because they gonna pay me. I don't have to pay a full ride going to a Black school versus one of the traditional white schools. I'm gonna get that discount. I'm gonna get that scholarship. I'm gonna get that grant and that FAFSA money. I'm gonna get that money I ain't got to pay back.
Like, it'd be nice to see when you got these highly scouted athletes like football players, and they got the hats of the recruiters right there. It would be nice to see a HBCU, the surprise, like I commit to Virginia State or North Carolina State.
We're slowly seeing a lot more of that, especially in the light of the NCAA and collegiate issues. You have been seeing a rise in prominent athletes going to HBCUs, as well as prominent athletes coming out of HBCUs and getting into the leagues. So last couple of championships that they had for football and basketball, there was about a handful of players that came from HBCUs.
Speaking of that, we have hit the 6:30 mark here in my time. Real Chairboy Popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. 12 different flavors. They got the cheesy they got the cheesy pizza. And if you're in the local area here in Kent, well, here in Washington, but in Kent, they have the Reuben sandwich. They also now got the BLT, which I have not tried yet, which I will. They also got the hot dogs. They got the chill dog. They got the what up dog. They also got the po-po dog. Give it a try. And also their lemonade, their blueberry pineapple. Love it. But if you're in the mood for some popcorn,
tell them B said to order the number 9. That's the franchise meal. He'll know what I'm talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen. And also, if you can order your popcorn as well online as it strolls down the bar. RealChildBoyPopcorn.com. 12 different flavors. Check them out. Real Child Boy.
Resealable bags. Got the wet wipe on there, so you ain't got to do none of this right here. Now imagine if Cheetos put a little wet wipe at the bottom of the bag.
Definitely with that Flaming Hots.
Come on now. Come on now. Just, y'all think about what you pay for a good bag of Doritos or Cheetos right now. And if they added on $2 more, but they gave you some wet wipes to clean your hands out, you suckers are still buy it. Hey, use the same excuse. I mean, yeah, it costs more, but at least they gave you some wet wipes. With Cheddar Boy popcorn, it's cheaper, it's better. You get more for your bang. $5.
$5. $5.
You got $5 on it for that Cheddar Boy popcorn. Just need $5 on it with resealable bags. $5. See, come on now, you can't beat that.
No,
can't beat it.
I got 4 bags. Got 4 bags, $20. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. But let's go
Only
into
weed
the
may give you a better deal than that. Only weed may give you a better deal than that. Come on, man. That's legal. Get you some legal popcorn.
So let's go to the other half of this equation of a racist. So we already know. Let's talk about the racism part of it, because we already nipped the butt that everybody is not racist just because they either one say a derogatory term or two they just show hostility to somebody. And I mean even to the simplest things of if you see somebody of a different race walking towards you and you just decide just to take the long way across the street or just move out their way, or you just say something to them. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not being a racist. Racist tendencies, but that's being prejudiced. Now, you probably want to know what makes a racist. It practice racism. I did say that all around us, racism is all around us. I'm going to tell you why. Can you name a big time black business? I'm not talking about, the ones that you see on what's that one? We Buy Black. I'm not talking about them. Ladies and gentlemen,
that sounds like a white company.
Yeah,
We Buy Black. That sounds like some white folks started it.
BET does.
See, that's the prejudice stuff.
So what black business that is on the top 10 of Forbes list, or a black business that you can compare or can stand side by side to Coca-Cola? Just think about that. You can't think of the organization. What black entrepreneurs, billionaires, which few and far between here in the States, own a football team, own a basketball team? Now, Master P and Tip's
Bob
wife,
Johnson.
And Bob Johnson and Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan, compared to all the other owners, just bought a team.
And he never had, even when he had Washington, he was not controlling.
He only had
he was just a silent partner.
Right, like a 2%. Like with people with Jay-Z, people are confused that Jay-Z owns the Nets. No, he don't own the Nets. He was in the same situation like we just said with Jordan, like with Jordan. He only owned 2-3%. He's just there for face value, just to show oh snap, he's the owner, but he don't make no calls. He's basically like the solid partner that's not too silent, if that makes any sense.
No, but he's the silent spokesperson.
Right. But racism is all around us, where you have, once again, you got Uber Eats, DoorDash that have to showcase local black businesses all over the country just to say, hey, you should order some nice food there. Like here, they got a lot of fusion, like soul foods here, which is, don't get me started. The fusions out here that these black businesses got out here is crazy. But when you have to look for a black business, that right there lies in the racism. Also with the ghetto. Now, People want to talk about the black on black crime and all that stuff. Let me tell y'all something
Stop it.
about the black.
It's called
Yeah,
crime. It's called crime. It's called
right.
crime. There's no such
Mhm.
thing as sibling on sibling. There's such a thing as matricide, fratricide, which is murder of your mother, your father, or your any other family members. We have labels for that. There's no label for Caucasian crime, Filipino. No, so everybody has crime. If you're
Mhm.
in a predominantly if you're in a predominantly racial area, it doesn't mean that they where everybody in here is black, so it's black on black crime. No, it's just fucking crime. It's urban crime.
Mhm.
It's crime. It's in an urban area, so it's urban crime, or it's rural because it's out in the country, or it's metropolitan because it's in the big city. It's not
And
fucking black on black crime. Like,
and
please, as I speak for all the real black people out here, we tired of hearing that shit.
yeah,
I'm tired of black people trying to use it. I'm tired of hearing it.
yeah,
Period.
right.
Stop calling it black on black crime. It's just crime.
Right. And then even if I meet him in the middle of the road, let's say black on black crime does exist. What is the product? What causes it? Because we get so mixed up with the event itself of it happening that we forget what caused it. We so worried about the fire that we forget who started the spark. Where did the spark come from? And we wait till later that, oh, this is what caused the spark, and it be too late and it be over and done with. That's the issue with racism. We talk about it every day, but nobody can come up with any solution or realize it is around us every day. It's about as American as pumpkin pie. I'm not gonna use apple pie, even though I love
And that's
apple
American
pie.
is capitalism. It's
Just
American is
about
capitalism because, like everything else, people are making money off of racism. You heard about the white boy, the white country artist that's actually selling more albums now for being a perceived overt racist and saying nigga on his tracks.
mm-hmm,
He's getting more love and more respect from people,
mm-hmm,
which is just. And then on the other hand, I just seen a podcaster, YouTuber. Their whole facet and avenue is uncovering and exposing the racial racism and the subtle racism that is in some of our favorite movies and favorite cinema
mm-hmm.
entertainment from past. Like I saw them actually go through Indiana Jones and dissect every unknown racist thing. And I never looked at it like that. It's like, oh, so the white man is just supposed to be so superior and so strong. And I was like, hold on. Well, okay, now that you mentioned it, that I've always did wonder. It was a specific scene he goes through. See, don't go through the light. He touches the light. It sets off the booby trap. You see the dead body from before. The other dude's just hollering like a sissy. Ah!
Yeah, I
Indiana
remember
Jones
that
is
part.
less than a foot away from this dead body, whose head rigor mortis turned to look at him, and he's stone cold. And the way she explained it was, look at that's racism, projecting and presenting the white man as a messianic savior. Like the white
The
man
white
is
strip.
so
Yeah.
above everything, they could literally walk into the gates of hell, i.e. Dante's Inferno, walk through the gates of hell and take over. Like this is the white man
Mm-hmm.
that we
And
see in our cinema, but it's subtle.
yeah,
That's
like
how
it
deep
figures.
this racism that Donnell speaks on.
Yeah, and like that movie Figures, the part that Kevin Costner played was a fictional character. There was never a
Mm-hmm.
character that actually did all what Kevin
There was,
Costner's character did. It that never happened, and I was
but they
sitting
needed
back,
it in there.
right. And so with all this, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, look at what black folks have. They don't own something like this, like a stream yard. They don't own a social media like a Facebook. Now, there probably is black social medias out there, but they had to go off models of a Facebook, which they don't
No,
practically own. or can't
Oh
come
no, no,
from direct.
see, I'm gonna have to tell you, I'm gonna jump in on that. As far as tech goes, Black Planet, one of the first actual community sites was all black, Black Planet. If you was black, go on there. You want to holler at sisters in your area, Black Planet. Once all the black people, like anything else in America, once all the niggas got behind it and the white folks saw that, ooh, this is an interesting model. I like this framework. Let me check it out. Then next thing you know, you see Tom with MySpace. Then you see Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And see, and that's
but they say those two people are the ones that started it. But let's keep it real. We do everything. Black Planet was the very first site that introduced what we see now.
or like BET, like the joke that we made BET, which we got the Wet Network. BET was owned by a black man, and then Viacom came up. Yeah, Viacom came in, swoop in, and bought Bob Johnson out for a little over $1 billion. Even though I think he bought for it was like a nickel and dime deal, I believe.
Oh, he honestly, did.
If I was Bob Johnson, I probably would have charged him. I'm like, $5 billion. No, I wouldn't say 5 billion. I would say 10 billion. But I would
pull the Dave Chappelle. What Dave Chappelle said when it came in, like, look, just either throw a number out there or listen. I was even told throw a number out there, and if they immediately give you that number, you're worth more. Or if they give you a number, you need to increase it tenfold because that's how much you're really worth. And they're only gonna pay you pennies. So if they offer you $1 billion, you should know that your product and your worth is actually 10 to 100 billion.
Right.
And they're only going to give you less than 1%.
And the thing is, going off of that example about BET when Bob Johnson sold BET to Viacom, you also got to think too, when we got something that's flourishing, when we got people coming in, no matter if it's our own people or a mixture of all types of people coming in, there's always the group of white guys or girls coming in and saying, hey, we see potential in your business, but we want to buy this from you. And
we want to help you diversify.
Right. And then we're like, how much you asking? And then they give them a number and we quick to give it up. We're quick to give it up. And they don't understand that plays into the racism. This is why we don't have too many stuff of our own. This is why we got so many of our young cats that are going through college that wants to go be a basketball player, that wants to be a Knicks LeBron James, want to be the Knicks Juju Smith-Schuster, and don't realize that yes, you're making all this millions and millions of dollars and living in these nice homes and going out there partying. What do you have of your own to help open the door for somebody else to say, this is our corporation, this is our company? One thing I give Bill Cosby credit for, when he was trying to buy NBC, he would have been the first black owner of a network, a big time network. Mm-hmm. Comcast wouldn't
y'all see why he ended up in the situation he did now.
Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby would have been the first big time owner, first black owned network. And I could imagine how that network would have became if he would have got it and owned it outright. I mean, so many things. I tell you right now,
Cosby's in a different world would still be on.
Mm-hmm. I promise you will see a lot more black networks, like, because you remember UPN used to show a lot of the black networks. Majority of those networks probably were
underpaid Negroes.
Yeah,
that was a joke. UPN, underpaid Negroes.
Mm-hmm. And that's basically what it was.
UPN and WB played a lot of it because they was wannabe brothers. Yep. Any network that embraced us, we knew it was a gimmick. We still did it because it's like, all right, well, we need something to kill the time. It's a good show. But we know the truth. UPN, that's the black network. Why? Mm-hmm. Because the majority of their programming is majority black. So that's the Black Network.
I remember they only had one white show up on there, and that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then they had SmackDown, WWE.
Well, now technically too, they had Buffy, and then they had Star Trek.
Oh,
but technically you can't call Star Trek a white show because even though it's white people on there, even though it's white people on there, they are the minority because they are in space. So everybody in space is a color.
That's true. That is true.
And see, and we got Earth niggas, and because of Worf, realest Klingon ever, the realest Klingon ever.
Mm-hmm.
We now knew that black people could be black in different creatures. You had Worf, you had Piccolo, you had Panther. They was never black, but we knew they was black.
Mm-hmm. They were the quote unquote minority, and Worf he just wanted to fight every goddamn body. Don't get him around his boys. They sit there singing songs.
But he real though. Yeah, think about it. He's the type of black person that we really need to be. Because think about it. He had an interracial child because his child was half human.
Mm-hmm.
But he never ran from his heritage, ran from his pride. He never hid that from his child. He made sure his child knew exactly what he was and where he came from. And know that you are better than me because you are part of me and part of your mama. We are two different things came together to make you, so that makes you better than us. I always took that. That's one thing I took from watching that show. Like, I love that aspect of it. And I feel like if you're going to show black people, that's the only way that they can really show positive black characters. Mm-hmm. we can't be publicly black. We have to be overtly black. Like, we got to be black in character and connotation and swag. But we can have a couple Negro features, big nose, like Panther. He had the nigga nose. Mm-hmm. He looked like the bald-headed uncle. But we can never be just who we are. We have to be transformed or amalgamized into some hybrid creature. Mm-hmm. We can't look black, but we can still be black, but we don't have to look black. That's that racism that perpetuates through America just off of entertainment. Because you can ask any black person that watched any kind of cartoons, who's the black character? And they'll tell you. Dragon Ball Z. Oh, Piccolo black. That's a real nigga. He taking care of other people's kids. That's his homie. His homie died. He started taking care of the son, but he ain't sleep with the baby mama. That's a real nigga.
That's true. That's
exactly how they would explain it. They would explain it just like that. Name any show that doesn't have a actual black character on it. We gonna find it because we know it's there.
Mm-hmm. And I saw Dan. I think you saw his comment too. Bring back In Living Color. I think In Living Color is a testament.
It's beyond a testament. It is the best black show ever. And if you don't believe me, go ask Jim Carrey. For all you white people out here that like Jim Carrey and y'all love him, y'all think he's a hell of an actor, and y'all praise him for everything, he'll be the first one to tell you, you white folk ain't give me shit. Y'all never gave me no breaks. It was a brother that showed me love and got me to where I'm at. If it wasn't for this black man, none of you white people would know who I am.
And the funny thing is, he not only just helped his career. Look at Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx,
David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, every Wayne, every bloody Wayne, Wayne, all his brothers, his sister, his niece, his nephews. This nigga is the first nigga to literally put the fam on.
Right there. That's how. And I was about to go to a solution on all this because we already know racism all around us, even with the most simplest of things. But here's where we solve this problem. This is where we solve it. We already know it's around us. Now, this is not just black folks. Now I'm just talking about everybody. Everybody. We recognize it. We just don't deal with it. Other than having coalitions and community, like services and all that stuff, it's time for Black folks to
Super
start
PAC?
business. Super PAC. Took the words right out of my mouth. Super PAC, and also to start your own business. Now, I'm probably sound like a capitalist, but hear me out.
Hmm.
Start your own business. Make a difference in your community. Running for public office. Start a super PAC. Start actually doing things that's going to impact your community. It's great to go out and protest on the streets and all that stuff, but when the pen hits the paper, that's where it matters. That's where it matters. When you can draft up a law, can draft up a policy that's not only will help you out, but help out the community. You know how far that will go? And I'm not even talking about the federal level yet. I'm not even talking about the state level yet. I'm talking just local. Because that's where everything starts. That's where the nucleus start. When you can get not only just your own people, but also outside people. Because people, like I was just watching the other day, Jason Black, I showed this video up on here, the Black Authority, where he's sitting there saying, well, look at what the Chinese, they undermine us and all these other ethnicities undermine us. And I thought about, like, on hindsight, if I was an impressionable mind, I would be like, yeah, they do undermine us. But then with my rational mind, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, I don't blame them. They worried about what's going on with their people. They worried
Number
about
one,
getting
they unilaterally concerned about their people. Number two, when there's an issue amongst their people, they handle it first. If they can't
right,
handle it first in a civil, internal manner, then y'all bring in the police.
right,
And
then
even then, the
also
police still have to go along with their tradition and their ways.
right, and see, and that's where we fall short of. We don't want nobody other ethnicity tell us how we need to do, how we should do it, and all that stuff. So if you sitting there and get mad because they undermine us when it comes to their situations, sounds like you want to join them more than anything. Sound like you need to mind your own damn business and worry about what goes on here. That's not me sounding prejudiced at all.
Just be real.
We need to, I mean, when we need them as an ally, I promise you they'll be there. Because once again, we all in this struggle together. It goes back to the Southern whites and the Southern blacks. We all struggling, but it's a different type of struggle. But guess what? We're gonna be there for one another because we understand our struggle. And definitely up here with the city, where you got different ethnicities up here, cultures, and all that stuff. But to solve this racism thing, we have to encourage our kids to start a business. I'm not just saying just go to college. No. Have them start a business. Get that hustle going on. Understanding what a dollar is. A penny saved is a penny earned. Right.
Educate them on what a hustle truly is and how everybody hustles. Even getting up and working 40 hours a week, that's a fucking hustle.
Right. To hustle, to actually run for your local office or a local superintendent. Tell them if you want to change it, you got to change it, son or daughter. Go ahead, you got to change it. Run for it. Run for your local office. Start a business. Don't let nobody tell you no. When people say they have an issue and a problem and you got a solution, that's when you start a business. When you hear somebody,
not even a business, education. Just if you know some stuff that will be very handy for somebody that's going. I know about music. That's my field. That's my lane. So if you're trying to get into music, and I know you're trying to get into music, well, hey man, here's some information you need to know. Mm-hmm. Just to know, make your trouble. Well, why are you telling me this? Because I want to be the random person in someone's life that gives them that benefit and that essential information. Because I had individuals like myself who I never knew, and it was just because of God that moment they chose to instill some life into me. and it's still some actual goodwill. I don't know this person, so the only way I can really show my appreciation for helping me get to this point is by helping somebody else.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
I want you to hear my voice later on in life. Like, what I tell you now, I'm telling you this because at some point it's going to become viable for you. And I want to be that little voice in the back of your head when that time comes. You're like, oh, yo, he did tell me this. Damn, that shit came in handy.
mm-hmm.
Damn,
And then
I wish I
and
could
you
thank him. Like, I want to. That's what we need to do as Black people. We
right,
need to push that forward to the kids so that
mhm,
they can be more educated to do what you talking about down there. Get up,
yeah,
get up there and get into the community. But they need to know what is the community and what all facets of the community and what all ways that they themselves can get into the community.
right. And you
They need
got
to
to be
know
that
all
red
this
light.
proper education. You have to.
Yeah, you
We
got to
have
be
to
that red
as
light.
the
Yes,
generation
we
before.
have to. We got to be that red light in our community. And I flip it like this. Why do you want to drive all the way? I'm gonna use this area here for hypothetically. Why would you want to drive to Seattle just to get that cupcake when I can make a bomb B1 here in Lakewood? I
Exactly.
got one right here that is off the chain that I can put it against any one of those bakery shops up there in Seattle, and hands down, mine will be better. That they will be coming down here and they want to network with me, trying to understand the recipe and how do I do it and all that stuff. They're gonna invite me to come up there, like, hey man, you should move up here or whatever society they got. I will join the society, but that's about it. I said my heart's here because I want another
Yeah.
cupcake joint right here to come up right here and to open. I want to pass this down to my kids. I want to have all the money that I make stay into the community. And not only just that, I want to be a ray of light to show to my community that you can do it too. If I could do it, you could do it too. Like if they want to move their business up there from Seattle, that's great. But know this, where they got that from, where they got that hope from, they got it from here. They will not forget where they came from. They will come back and visit and tell them like, hey, I started here. The hard knocks was here. But then you got those that go sit there and say, I'm gonna stay here. All the good you can get from Seattle, you can get right here, maybe even better. Don't think just because they're a bigger city than us that we don't offer just as good value or great business services like they do. And that's one of the things we got to do in this community. And then us Black folks, we have to accept that too. We just can't continue to ask for the 5 finger discount. Have to, hey man, just give me a discount. No, pay the full price. That's why when I go to Cheddar, last time I went to Cheddar Popcorn, I told him I said I was gonna pay. Like so the last time I went before that, I actually didn't pay because she's like, man, we sponsor you, man. Here you go. And I told him, I said, next time I'm paying, man. I can't just go around just getting this great food and popcorn from you. So I said, no, man, I'm paying the full price. I'm not even using military discount. Paid them. And that's what we need to start doing. If you actually want to support the community, because I know back in the day when the Black Wall Street was going on, I'm not just talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm talking about all the Black Wall Streets during the time. They didn't always go up in there and ask for like the, cutting the hair and all that stuff. And, hey man, you think you can.
No, it's about showing love. The easiest way to get for all you cheap ass niggas out here that want that hookup. Let me break it down to you. From the drug level, yes, it will always be respected. You are correct. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn. Like when people like Black folk, now everybody out here that buy drugs, y'all should understand this. You never ask your weed man for a front off the first time, do you? No. You shop with that brother for a while. You let him know that you like his product, you respect his product, and you respect his prices. Well, once you build up a rapport with that individual, he knows that you are a good customer, you are a loyal customer. You may come across a situation where they just hit you up like, "Hey, man, You at the crib? Yeah. They pop up. They give you something. Like, bro, I ain't even got nothing on me. No, bro, you good. You good. You always good. I know you ain't got it like that always, or even a situation like shit. But hey man, I know it's the holidays. I know you got your kids and everything like that. Yeah, shoot you a little extra bud, man. Make sure you can get through the holidays. Yo, that's love, bro. I appreciate that. I've never once asked the motherfucker up front, hey man, yo, can you, yo, let me get a quarter for a dime. No, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I shop with him first. But if I'm in the situation was like, hey, bro, I'm trying to get a dub, but I ain't got the 15 on me right now. I work with you, bro. That ain't nothing, man. Shit, you was honest. Hey, I got you.
Yeah.
And you think he's only gonna get 15? He give you the full 20 plus a little bit extra.
Mm-hmm.
You know that 20 may get you 5, 6 of them. You know, because you shop with him because you're an actual customer, which is what any other fucking white business do, but they do it with coupons. They show you their appreciation, like, hey, we're going to give you a coupon for $5 off your next purchase. So that's $5 less that you got to come out your pocket. They just hooked you up. Did you go into Walmart and say, hey, can I get this for half price? No, but your ass shopped. You went there and shopped for several months to several years, and then Walmart sent you some shit, or you went up there and they told you, hey, you know, you got some extra bucks that you can use. You want to use them today? Hell yeah. How much I got? $20? $20? How much is my total? Your total is actually $17. So we actually give you $3 back. Word.
Or they tell you like we got the 2-for-1 deal. Exactly. You know, if you get another one, it's free.
Folk only going businesses are only gonna look out for good customers.
Yeah, good customers.
Folk are only gonna look out for folk that do right by them. If I know you're gonna do right by me, when I know you need it, I'm gonna do right by you, even if I know you don't need it or I feel like you might need it. Help you out because you've already shown me on the business end that this is an investment. Mm-hmm. This is a token of esteem and appreciation.
And see, this is how
Go ahead.
Yeah, like what Beast is saying. This is how we can combat racism. This is what we need and have to do. Start our businesses. Keep everything in-house. Have to know to keep everything within our people and being like, if somebody cuts up, we know who they go to and we straighten them out. Keep everything in-house. Keep them educated up. Keep them trained up physically and mentally, because that's one of the things I say what happened to Black Wall Street. They just got too lax, and look what happened. If they had people already militarized up and prepared them for their situational awareness, who knows? The Black Wall Streets could be up still. And then also you get them in positions of power, policies that will support that community, that help build that community, that keep the longevity of that community going, which meaning that community, which started like this, starts to get bigger, and bigger. Mm-hmm. Like I'm gonna use the example of Lakewood, Seattle. Seattle is still a thriving, growing city as we speak. Lakewood, kind of, it's a hood compared to Seattle. But if Lakewood do all the things that was said in this show, Lakewood will be the next best big thing. Will be the next big city, and people will be like, "Hey, I want to go out there, live out there with them brothers, them folks." And that's how you end racism. Because now you're gonna have a majority black neighborhood, and you're gonna have white people, other minorities coming in. They have their own little peoples and all that stuff, restaurants, and people not afraid to go to a black barbershop to get their hair cut, or somebody's afraid to go into an Italian butcher shop where people just know everybody. You don't see no damn race. Maybe if they mention any race thing, they probably be joking around and all that stuff. Man, I'm not like that, dog. I mean, it can happen, ladies and gentlemen. It may sound like a utopia. It may sound like a utopia, but it's something that is very, very doable. Do I blame the media for perpetuating racism? Yes, I do. But also, we
Yes.
got to take that blame on ourselves too when we continue
Mm-hmm.
to watch. We got to take some of the responsibility too when it comes to the media. No matter if you watch a CNN, no matter if you watch a Fox News or OAN or you watch the Young Turks like I do. But you, at the end of the day, you have to decide for yourself. Beast had to decide for himself. Donna Alamonte Morris had to decide for himself. Anita Joe, aka Teach, got to decide for herself. Mayo got to decide for himself. What
Right.
news is he going to take in? What information from the news he going to take? They choose to dissect. So for anybody out there, I'm kind of diverging off the topic, but it does go with the topic. Is that when you continue to blame the media, realize you should be blaming yourself because you choose to listen and still take their word for without doing something about it and change the status quo. And this is why you got hashtag fade to black. That's why we here doing the damn thing so you don't have to. And
Mm-hmm.
so, which leads to now
And
usually,
actually, you gave me a good that's a good point too. What we did right here, we came together and took our interests and our skills and built something from it. Now we have, if we were a community, our community has a central narrative. We have a central point of information. We have a viable source. So it's not just education. It's not just starting up the businesses. It's about making sure your community is structured in a manner to where it does blow up. It does get that notoriety and attention. You don't have to worry about, as Black people, we ain't got to worry about them trying to bomb our whole cities down because we've set up we have certain essential requirements that regardless of your color, you need to live. Like with Texas and the issue that they had, that boils down from them separating themselves from the national grid. They had their own separate grid for power and water, which was cool. But over the last 100 years, like Donnell said, they've allowed the wrong people to go in and slowly but surely chip away, make it less than stable, make it under par. And when they got hit with a natural disaster like Katrina, we found out that the extent of that damage was due to ill planning and half-assery from the politicians and those in power. So you see the issues that they had. Now they got to learn from that, like Donnell said. Y'all got your own grids or whatever, but y'all need to make sure that the people that have the control and power over the functionality of those grids, they are there for your best interest.
mm-hmm.
So y'all don't need to go through some shit like this ever again. Mm-hmm. And we as Americans, we feel bad because we're humans. But remember, Texas is the only state in the nation that can succeed. And for the last several years, y'all ain't had no problem telling America, fuck y'all and y'all bullshit. We really don't need y'all. We got our own power and our own lights. So you can't really be mad at us or feel like the world is turning our backs on us. Like, nah, y'all set yourself up in this type of situation, and then y'all allow the situation to worsen and deteriorate. So at the end of the day, y'all are at fault, and it sucks that y'all have to suffer. And it's even worse that the ignorant and the non-compliant have to suffer. But that's the history of your state. That's the history and structure of your area. That's why you ended up in the situation you are in now. So learn from it, and the same go for Black folk. Listen to what I'm saying about Texas. Texas need to learn from their mistakes and learn what to ask, what to spot, so they don't put the wrong people back in position. We as Black folk, we need to do the exact same fucking thing. We need to go back and actually look through our history. Look at the individuals. Look at the motherfucker that got in and killed Fred Hampton. We need to learn and really understand how to discern and sort everybody out.
Vet them a lot.
Definitely got to vet them because we can't have we as human beings cannot allow subpar human beings to be in a position over good human beings because we see what happens. Good human beings suffer. Good human beings are the ones that take the brunt of all the damage. Yeah, it's you subpar motherfuckers, you subterranean creatures that we're unfortunately forced to call humans because you look just like us. And most of us aren't intelligent enough to be able to observe what we need to observe or ask the questions we need to ask to figure out, is this human really a human or are they subpar human? Just like racism. I need to ask certain questions, make certain statements around other races just to see if they are in fact racist or if they have a strong racial undertone with their prejudice. So I know whether or not this person worth dealing with in the future.
Ain't that true? And speaking of the truth, Beast, we gotta go visit your community, man. Speaking of the community, we gotta go ahead and see how everything's hanging out. But before we do that, we gotta go ahead and
do that commercial. I gotta hide the dope real quick.
We go ahead and pay some bills, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Beast Community.
Welcome. Thanks for coming by the community. Since we're talking about community involvement and really how to build the community up, let's talk about knowing what the community does. If you have something that you do, for example, I got an OG homie of mine, I call him Unc. Well, Big Unc is a culinary chef. He old school, but the man can whip up some beef tips and whatever hell else you want to eat. But he's not the most technical savvy. He came to me and said, hey, I want to do me a little show. I want to do what y'all doing. Okay, well, what you want the show to be about? Shoot, you cook. I want you to show people how you get down in the kitchen. I mean, well, how does it do? I explained to the man how the show was structured. I explained to him what he would need to do on his end technically wise. You can do all this from your phone. He's like, okay, cool. Well, how about we show single mamas how to make hamburger helper without the helper? Okay. You try to go old school then? Yeah. Take this, mix this together. Show them how to make a quick meal. See, this little conversation is how the community gets together. Me being technically savvy helps a brother who is not technically savvy, but is a gourmet culinary god, put his information out for those who need it. And he's marketing his information for single mothers that work a lot, that really ain't got the energy to want to make a full meal, but they know they got to feed everybody. That was a wonderful idea. In a short time, we came together and devised a benefit for the community. Now all we got to do is just put it forth, and y'all will be seeing Chef Vic on here in a few weeks. I'm gonna get that squared away with y'all, but he gonna show y'all how to cook something mean. So all you viewers out here that's watching, if anything you want to know how to cook, send it in. Anything you've just been wondering or curious about how to prepare, send it in. We're gonna show you. Because this is how the community helps each other. We help solve situations and problems that others might seem as more difficult or less advantageous to them. Now, me helping him, helping them, thus widens our own individual communities, and then it brings more people in. It's like, hey, I want to learn what you talking about, or I see what you're doing over here, and I appreciate it. I picked up a couple steps myself, or I've been doing that myself, and I figured out a little recipe for this. Add it on there. The community widens. The community knows more about each other. Now they know if I need me some really good food, I can go holler at this chef over here. If I need to get online and do some tech stuff, I can holler at my man's Beast. He good with the button clicking. That's what we used to do in the community when we had an issue. If I need my car fixed, I know I got a neighbor. I got a neighbor that's 2 doors down. That man can work on any type of car there is. I done seen him do it. He done helped me when I had mine. So if I got an issue before I even go down to O'Reilly's or one of the car stores, I'm gonna go knock on my neighbor door first and get that type of community love, because I know there's people in my community that can help me. Because I do know some of them have skills, some of them have knowledge that I'm not suited for or I'm not equipped to have at this moment. But by actually going into the community, speaking with the community, I find out more about them. They find out more about me. We all have a closer bond. It's really not that hard to do what we need to do. We just got to stop looking at TV and looking at others to guide us. There is a God above, but the God is in you. There is a Jesus above, but Jesus is in you. There is a Savior and a Messiah, but that Savior and Messiah also dwells within you. You can be the saving grace for your own saving grace, but you just got to go out into the community and let it be known. That's it. So next time you're wondering about what you need to do or how you're going to get it fixed or how you're going to answer this question, just take a nice little stroll through your neighborhood. Go holler at a couple neighbors that you're cool with, that you know some stuff. Ask them. If they don't know, I'm pretty sure they will lead you to your answer. And you'll find that answer in the community. So I hope you enjoyed coming by mine. And I hope you learned something. I hope you was entertained. And feel free to come on back anytime. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning into the show. You know, we like to get down to the nitty gritty, but every great show had to come to an end. This is the final thought. First of all, shout out to both of the sponsors, Real Cowboy Popcorn, as I got in the back, and also to Sky Zone Society for sponsoring both halves of this show. I'd like to thank both sponsors. Thank you very, very much. My final thought is this. Racism. People want to have the defeatism that racism can never be solved. We can never get rid of it. You know, it's something that's here to stay. And I always say this. If it took the time to become a thing, it can also get taken away. If somebody could get crowned to be king or queen, you can always dethrone them. You got to change the status quo, people. People may think that it's hard, but you know who believes that everything is hard? Not the outside world, but yourself. I know me, for example, when I think of something that is hard and actually doing it and find out that, damn, if I would have knew this or I would have done it earlier, I would have got done with this yesterday. We become our own worst enemy. But we think so much of what other people say about us. What we shouldn't do, what we can't do, this is what we should be doing, this is how we should do it. But you know there's another way, but you're afraid to speak up because you take so much of what the outside world tells you so much to the heart that you don't even listen to that inner person, like B said, that inner God in you telling you, no, do it. And everybody won't be everybody's friend. Everybody wants to try not to hurt people's feelings. Well, this is a thing called life. And majority of the time, you're probably going to hurt their feelings. And unfortunately, they got to get over it. That's their problem. If you hurt somebody's feelings when you're doing something that's trying to benefit yourself, that's on them. That's on them. But if you do not like what is going on in your community, what is going on in the world, you got to go out and change the status quo. And racism is no different. I don't believe racism here to stay. I think it's just something that people just tell themselves and just take the easy way out and don't challenge it head on. Look what Black Lives Matter did. Just look at them, that terrorist organization. Oh, they have been a powerful force that enacted change. Politicians, all the things I say that Black Lives Matter should have became, should turn themselves into a super PAC. And they kind of somewhat is a super PAC, but they don't characterize themselves as a super PAC. They're still an organization. And look at the changes that they already have influenced in the world. So for those who sit there and say that racism will be a thing that's here to stay, no. As much as people who fought to create racism and to keep it going, we could be the same as people to fight it and kill it and get rid of it. It's possible, ladies and gentlemen, but it's up to you to believe that possibility and to go out there and actually do something and change the status quo. Racism can be defeated. Racism can come to an end. You had to believe it first. And that's my final thought. Oh. And by the way, Mayo didn't join us, but he wanted to let each and every one of y'all know he wanted to say hello and good night to you all.
For my final thought, for racism, you can acknowledge it, but you don't have to accept it. My father always told me it's not what you're called, it's what you answer to. If you get mad when someone calls you something, you are acknowledging A, that there's some truth to what they're saying. B, you believe to a certain extent what they're saying. And see, you're mad that they saw it and acknowledged it before you did. So if a white man calls me a nigger or a porch monkey tar baby coon, I'm not really gonna get mad, because if I get mad, to him, I'm saying, yes, I am, and I don't appreciate you calling me that, and that's why I'm mad. Not that's an offensive term, because let's be real, offense is subjective. Everyone finds something offensive that the others don't. I have a dark sense of humor, so a lot of things I laugh at are deemed offensive. And I acknowledge that, but I don't accept it. I can acknowledge your racist comment, but I'll be damned if I accept it. I acknowledge the fact that you said it and that's how you feel, but I would not accept that into my life. I would not accept that I am a tar baby or a porch monkey or a Sambo or any other racist epitaph or stereotypical stigma you try to lay on me. I will not acknowledge that. I will not accept that into my life. I am not that. And we must remember that as human beings, as Black people, as Americans, somebody not gonna like you. Somebody gonna have something bad to say. But as long as you got enough common sense to not say it in my face within striking distance, I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get offensive. But if you're bold enough to get in my face and call me a tar baby coon, you better have a pistol on me. And you better keep your eyes on my hand, because I might not get offended at your statement, but I will get offended that you was ballsy enough to say it to my face, and I will put my hands on you. See the difference right there is? I take the disrespect of you stepping in my face like that, not over the actual comment you said. So as we move forward with this racism and we deal with it on our day-to-day lives, just remember, I can acknowledge this, but I don't have to accept it. I'll acknowledge this racist fucker right now, but I will not accept the racism that he's tried to put into my life or the racism he's trying to put out into the world. And I will make sure to educate my children and all those around me on this mentality. Because a racist is only going to continue to be racist once they feel like they're up under your skin. So if you just ignore that racist, ignorant fuck, eventually they're going to get mad at themselves. And eventually they're going to say so much racist shit that people of their own race are going to look at them like, okay, now you're just going too far now. But I'm saying, no, you're sounding like a racist bigot. You might want to stop. Now you have white privilege on your side. Now you have other races defending you because you just chose not to accept it. You chose not to feed into it. Kill them with kindness. Let them know that I am so much above you that you're not even worth the inclination of a thought about responding. Because that's how much I know what you say about me is false. I don't even have to respond to it. I'll just give you a dumb look and go about my day. So acknowledge the racism, but do not accept it in your life. For that, I hope y'all were entertained and informed. And please come on back on the next show. Y'all have a good night.
And speaking of good show, our boy with the real estate will be on Wednesday. We're going to keep y'all updated. It was supposed to be Friday, but personal circumstances happened. So it was postponed to this Wednesday. So if you want to get more knowledge or understand the real estate game, tune in on Wednesday where we will be having the packed house here on the show. Any last words before we head on out, Beast?
No, good show.
All right, I couldn't say anymore.
Everybody hope y'all enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, don't forget we do have a network. Check it out at the bottom. The Wet Network is actually up. I'm about to upload this show up on there so y'all can catch it or relive it. So check out the Wet Network. And also we got a movie that's going to be soon going on to Wet Network. So and also series 2, wink wink.
Yeah.
So watch out for that, ladies and gentlemen.
I do have
next
one final
month,
thought.
what's that?
Big shouts out to Big Dan. I ain't seen that name in a minute.
Yes,
Glad to see
Big
you back
Dan.
on the show, watch, man. Appreciate the look.
It's so great
Come
to
on
have
back
back
on here, man.
And then also our number one fan, our number one viewer himself, Mr. Keep McCary. Thank you so much. Don't forget, everybody share this show. Let your friends, your family, your mama, everybody know about this show. Let everybody know.
Send it to a racist to piss them off.
Oh, yeah. Send it to a conservative. Send it to a liberal. Send it to a person who don't know anything from anything. Let them
send it to any person that uses racist rhetoric in their comments or tries to put things in a racial perspective. Tag them in these videos. Send these videos to them.
Mm-hmm. That's all y'all gotta do. With that, we about to head on out. As for Beast Johnson and for me, your gracious host, Donnell Montemore, thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all on Wednesday. We out. Catch y'all later.
Sir.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.